Outlaw Sports is brought to you by Molson Canadian, made from Canada, and Rocky Mountain Barbecue, Alberta barbecue cuisine at its best. As we are recording, if the playoffs were to start today, the Calgary Flames would be up against the St. Louis Blues. Now, the St. Louis Blues, I mean, to me, one thing I don't like about the NHL is these teams that panic and get rid of a coach. But in the case of the St. Louis Blues, it seemed to be something magical as Ken Hitchcock has come back in. Just love the way St. Louis plays the game. They play it tough. They can do everything. Mm-hmm. But as you and I are sitting here talking about how they've structured management, and again, one of those teams, Grant, with questionable ownership. At times, you just don't know what's going on there, yet they've held this thing together. And John Davidson, one of the great guys in the game in my books, has really structured this system so it can't fail.
Exactly. If we sat here and did a preseason preview on the NHL, I don't think either one of us would say number one team just a month before the playoffs would be the St. Louis Blues.
Look for them to improve.
Maybe improve, yes, because they're a good team. They fire their young coach. They bring in this old guy, Ken Hitchcock. Oh, no. People are saying, his shelf life, he won't last. Yeah. Apparently, Ken Hitchcock has changed drastically. Still that defensive, smart guy, but has changed his approach immensely. That's why I think players are buying in. Blues are number one. That's who the Flames would play possibly if they finish eighth. Blues finish one. But look at the structure of this hockey team. Al MacInnis is an assistant to the general manager of hockey operations. Al MacInnis is a smart guy, a good guy. Remember Dave Taylor played in the Triple Crown line, good hockey player, ran the LA Kings for a while. Right. Good hockey man, let go from LA a while ago. He's in the hockey operations. Doug Armstrong used to be with the Dallas Stars when they won the Stanley Cup. Always involved with our Olympic team in Hockey Canada. He's our number one general manager. Smart hockey guy. John Davidson, the president, overlooking the whole thing. Smart hockey team right now, and I don't think anybody gives the Blues enough respect. We look at the Bruins and the Flyers and team the Vancouver Canucks. Deservedly so, but this team is quietly one of the best team right now in the NHL. I think that's fantastic.
And it's we talk about how they can score, how they can play tough.
Yep. Big, strong team.
Grant, the goaltending, playoff time, this team could be, this team could do a lot of damage if all the pieces fit.
Yaroslav Halak, one of their goalies, played for the Montreal Canadiens a couple of years ago, was unbelievable in getting Montreal, to the conference finals.
That's right.
Then he goes to St. Louis as a free agent or something like that. And then he was brutal last year. He wasn't very good.
Yeah, and at the start of this year, too.
And Brian Elliott, who was a cast-off from Ottawa, was struggling in Ottawa, now is in St. Louis and doing extremely well, maybe the best goalie tandem in the NHL. The Blues could be very tough and arguably the best team in the West and maybe even better than Vancouver, because I think they got maybe a little bit more balance. And the goaltending is more consistent.
The CBC is taking heat again. This Don Cherry thing won't leave. We don't have to go on to that.
We talk about Don Cherry a lot here.
Yeah. But the CBC and Hockey Night Canada under fire by the rest of the teams in Canada, saying they're unhappy with the way CBC covers the NHL's Canadian teams because Toronto gets all the pub. Everything is centered around the Toronto Maple Leafs. Well, we know that. They've been brutal for a lot of years. They still get headlines. Is it because Leaf fans are going to tune in no matter what? Or is it just because the population is there, or is it a combination of both? It is Leafs TV.
Well, what is the criticism? I've not heard a whole lot of that criticism.
Well, they're criticizing that Ottawa's not getting the publicity.
What do you mean publicity? You mean enough games on TV?
Yes, everything is centered around Toronto.
Okay, if you ran a network, because you're a TV guru guy, you are a smart guy. You know this business. If you had clients. And they say, you get me the biggest market for my buck. If I'm going to spend $10 million because you've promised me a lot of eyeballs watching, right? You're the TV guy, so you owe this sponsor the right to bring in the most eyeballs. Where are those eyeballs?
Well, in the hockey world.
Southern Ontario.
In the hockey world.
So you're being a smart TV guy, Mike, promising him a return on his investment.
But why do those smart TV people still have the Argos?
It's a double-edged sword.
Don't you think that's what it is?
Sure it is.
It's just smart. There's 10 to 12 million people in the Golden Horseshoe from Niagara Falls, Toronto, Burlington, all the way around to Whitby and Oshawa. Millions and millions of people. So even if a small percentage, it's many more that will watch in the Ottawa, Calgary, or Edmonton area.
Yeah,
correct?
I know. I hear where you're going.
So to me, it's all about sponsorship. It's about revenue. It's about where the most eyeballs are for your clients.
But the Leafs out of the playoffs, and TSN has them lead story, and Hockey Night in Canada is still talking about them. Sometimes you just got to get rid of it and show the best games. The red line, really quickly, Grant.
Well, that's all you got to do, eh?
Red line. Just change the schedule.
Somehow you got to change it.
Change the schedule. Sometimes. I think you have to. Yeah, I think in the league you have to have.
People don't give a crap about the Calgary Flames outside
of Alberta. Maybe some folks in Saskatchewan. Maybe some folks in Saskatchewan.
I remember in the 90s traveling around with the Flames in American markets, and nobody knew who was on this team except, the little guy, Theron Fleury. The Oilers and the Flames have been brutal draws forever around the NHL.
Yeah.
So I think that's just part of this whole deal.
But is Toronto a draw outside of Toronto? I mean, outside of Canada. And the only reason they're drawing Canada is because of the original 6. All the original 6 teams are draws in Canada, right?
Right.
Okay. The NHL's GMs are meeting in Florida, and they're going to be looking at some rule changes that certainly will affect the game.
They're talking about slowing the game down. We were talking a few years ago about speeding the game up. Forget about trying to slow the game down. Worry about the new CBA, because if you don't change that, you're going to stop the game. It won't be slowed down, it'll be stopped completely. If they take out the red line, there might not be as many players speeding through the zone, so maybe fewer huge hits. Is that not true?
Yes. 35 miles an hour is what a player can go on a blade now. It's pretty,
that's fast.
That's fast. Yeah.
But Mike, we just heard them saying we got to speed the game up. Now we got to slow it down. Would I take out the red line and not allow 2-line passes? Yes, I would. I liked it before.
I love you, I hate you. I love you, I hate you.
Yeah.
I want to take a short break, and when we come back, I want to talk about block shots, and I think it's one of the most overrated things in the NHL. Grant, one of the most annoying things for me to watch a hockey game is an announcer.
You.
By myself.
Yeah, okay.
Hand in my pants with the remote, drinking
Why
the beer.
do you always say that?
Because that's
You
the way it
always
is.
talk about you watching some TV with your hand.
Me and my best friend.
It makes me queasy.
Me and the unemployed.
I get uncomfortable.
Me and the underdeveloped countries. It goes on. It's great to be back at the Holiday Inn in Moose Jaw. Just fire them up. You set them up, I'll knock them home. Block shots, Grant. I mean, all these announcers, you gotta love, I love the way these guys go down and block shots. He's in the game, he leads the league in block shots. To me, it is the most overrated aspect of hockey because it's dangerous. So many guys are leaving the game with injuries. Now, if you get a guy like Bergeron for Boston blocking a shot, he made one defensive play, but look at all the time he's going to miss because of this. Too many injuries. And you hear Don Cherry and other people saying, get out of the way. When you're trying to block a shot and you got a stick there, it deflects it, goes in. That goalie's got padding, Grant. Get out of the way, let him see that. Who would you rather stop the shot? One of your star players with no pads or that guy with maxi pads?
Good night. Absolutely right.
Yeah.
I wish sometimes I could disagree with you because it's more fun to disagree with you, but I can't here.
Well, you've done it all the career. Why not now?
Because I agree with you on this.
Okay.
Because to me, I don't know about, it's overrated. I hate seeing when guys block shots because, the Flames have Blair Jones, their centerman, who's their biggest centerman they could use in a checking role, not in the lineup right now. Coming back soon, I understand. Out because of a blocked shot.
Yep. That's my point, yeah.
I think guys can get hurt too often. I don't know why it's regarded as a great thing a player can do. Mark Giordano is blocking shots all the time, and I always wonder, the next one's going to knock him out. Mark Giordano out of the Flames lineup, there's no way they're going to make the playoffs, so I don't know what they should do then. Just get out of the way, let the goalie stop it, I guess.
If it's the saving grace from knocking that puck, sliding over there to make a great save to keep it from losing a game. Okay, but just on these, let them get out of the way, let them have it.
I agree.
You know, I just don't get
Because of the risk of injury.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they look at it as tough and it's heroic and they're doing it for the team. But Jesus,
No, but I don't know about that. I think coaches like when players
That's what
do
I'm
it.
saying.
Oh,
That's what I'm
I
saying.
thought you meant the players do it because it looks heroic.
no, I think
and
the coaches they stress it, and I just don't get that.
maybe not enough teams have good enough goaltenders. I don't know, but the Flames do, and they should not do it, in my opinion.